My bad, y'all. I was too busy texting and messaging other people. Anyways, where's the chat? The chat's not up on my StreamYards. I don't understand. Oh, that's why, because I must have clicked something. Here we go. Okay, Mimi. Well, good evening, y'all. It is hurting my nose. I need more people to hurry up and get here so I can take this off and start talking. And I can't drink my or my juice until I take this off. That. Okay, D. Yeah, I see you and one other person. I'm not sure who the other person is. I usually try to wait for about five people to get in here. But while I'm doing that, how was your evening? Okay, that's there. Um, and kitty cats. That's what's up. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I was just picking on my daughter because she's been picking on me all day, and then saying hello to people in their chats right quick. Okay, we got three. Just waiting on two more. Uh, I was thinking, I don't know. I was thinking about some people I meet. I don't know why. Some people weren't just talking. I'll mention I sometimes be on YouTube. Well, I'm not leaving this on the whole time either, just so y'all know. I'm gonna take this off when we get two more people in here when we start going. But I sometimes mention that I be on YouTube sometimes. Sometimes I don't. I don't know why it's a weird thing or why I mention it or don't mention it sometimes. What do y'all think? Would you mention it to somebody that you just met, or would you wait a little bit before you mentioned it? Oh wow! You know what I didn't do? Didn't share out the show like I normally do. That's see, the holiday got me all types of messed up. Not sure, D. Yeah, I guess I've never really asked myself that before, but you know, I kind of just realized I was like, man, some people I kind of hold back from saying something to them right away. Excuse me while we're waiting on a few other people. I'm sharing out the live real quick because I forgot to do it earlier. But also I won't keep you waiting, D, because I know that you and Granny was definitely wanting to get into this, so I won't wait too long if it takes people a little bit. Just have to recap what we talked about if other people jump in. She's going through something right now. I won't listen to her. I don't know. I sent it to this person. Still three. Excuse me, guys. This shouldn't take me too long. I know a few people said that they're coming to a little bit late. Or I'll tell you what. If there's not five in here by the time I'm done sending these, I'll just go ahead and start. Oops. If that's okay with you guys. You said you're good, D? Okay. That's falling off. This mask might actually come off sooner than later. My face is starting to get hot. Which is weird because I can feel how cold the air is around me. Well, it's not really cold, but it's cool. I still haven't figured out how come there's not a just send to all button on this or option. Why is that loading? Did it freeze? No. Um, the other person that's in here, whoever you other two may be, how are y'all? In the 20s, supposed to get into the 10s. Yeah, I know tomorrow morning is supposed to be pretty cold because they said just all the snow sitting there is gonna chill the air a lot over here. I'll do the Instagram one later. Let me see. Still at three. I think I'm almost at the bottom of the list. I'm just trying to make sure I don't hit the two names that asked me to stop sending them the thingy every time. Oops. 3. No, it still says 3 too. All right, made it to the bottom. All right, I'm gonna take this off so we can start. Oh, my beard, that hurt. Whatever. Man, I need to clean my glasses. All right, y'all. I hope Granny eventually catch up. I mean, I know she'll catch the replay. I know she's definitely ready for this. And I went like about, well, I know I started a little bit, 30 minutes after I originally said I would. But as y'all seen in the title, kind of more. I mean, I thought we were done talking about the drones here for now, unless we heard anything new. But and then all this information coming out recently about the I guess you say the Tesla bomb. I just forgot the gentleman's name. I won't say the blew himself up because we don't know. But like I said, some information started coming out about the Tesla bomb that kind of connects to the drones. And then today I'm hearing people talking about. But if you look at the video, you can see someone moving around in the car before it blew up. Who knows? The video I seen, I couldn't see anything. It was too dark. I don't know if it's just my eyes or what, which is weird. But I'll just say I don't know. But I don't know. If anything, is something interesting to talk about. I guess before we get into it, have y'all heard anything as far as the drones and the Tesla truck explosion? I keep saying Tesla bomb, Tesla truck explosion. Besides possibly what I said this morning. Anybody? That's all today they're saying. I helped them plan the whole thing. Oh, you think so? Or they think so? I don't know. I want to put that one. I don't know. I almost feel like, and this is just me talking from an outside person. I mean, because I use AI for some things like when I'm typing up stuff to kind of help me put my words together and then type it off of that sometimes. Well, I don't know. I feel like something like that. I wouldn't even mess with the AI apps. I mean, yeah, you don't have to directly say what you're planning to them. You can give them scenarios. You can tell them you're writing a story, making a video game script, whatever. But yeah, yeah, I would say. But I don't think somebody from what I'll say what I've heard about him, because I won't say what I know about him, but what I heard about him, I don't think he's somebody that would do that. It's crazy, but as we get into it, I think y'all probably ask some of the same questions I asked. Like I said before, as y'all can see, I'm in a little bit different environment right now because of the weather. The elevator lady hasn't came to repair my elevator yet, and I was supposed to have cleaned and redid some of my office before I went live again. So I guess we gotta wait till Friday now, see what's up. If this cloak gets hot, I'm gonna take this off. I was gonna start, even though we probably need a refresher, but just this little refresher. I don't believe it either. No, I definitely feel you on that, D. Like, definitely reaching AI help them planet, please. I'm gonna switch back to actually I can see the chat on my tablet. Let me know, guys, if this is too loud, if it's echoing or what, because I know it's always different when I do this.
Breaking news we're following right now. The Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, FAA, and the Department of Defense are all responding now to reported drone sightings across the United States. The FBI says it has received over 5,000 reports about drones in the last few weeks. Officials say after careful analysis, the reports include a combination of commercial drones, hobbyist drones, and law enforcement drones, along with planes and helicopters. And authorities add these drones do not pose a national security threat.
Anyways, yeah, that's, just a little reminder of things that they said or what they had said. Let me switch the screen back to this one. I'm switching to the other one. And again, I'm sure, oops, I didn't mean to go full screen. I'm sure a lot of us are like, okay. Especially how, like, I don't know if y'all remember or not, but at the beginning, I need to trim my mustache. It's like starting to eat mustache. Anyways, how's kind of like they were saying it's not a threat, but we don't know what they are, but they're not a threat. I know y'all remember that. I remember that. I was like, what y'all talking about? So basically, you guys are telling me that you have no idea is what I'm hearing, and you just don't want people to panic. And I wasn't sure if I really believe that one to even begin with. I always got to get reused to messing with YouTube on the computer versus my phone because I use it on my phone so much. Where's my playlist? Here we go. And that.
Did you know that Amazon has a 50 million?
I want to start playing. Anyways, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong thing. And I also can't see the chat, so it's throwing me off. D says sounds good. I don't know, it's like, I mean, because I definitely wasn't when I first heard about the Tesla truck explosion. Were y'all thinking anything at all like it could be connected to the drones? I mean, I want to say I was definitely like all this different stuff keeps on popping up now at the end of the year. Just trying to remember, is that like a normal thing or what? Yeah, where is the show? None of us was looking at this about the red pandas. Okay. Anyways, for some reason it's not popping up on my history, even though I was just looking at it. Is my chat not moving, or y'all just wasn't saying nothing? I'm at the pause. This is
Yowza. The cyber
wrong person. There we go.
is there to protect the.
And then description. So where I got a lot of this from, I forgot. I'm looking at the wrong computer. Where I got a lot of this from is from the Sean Ryan show, and he has a guest named Sam Shoemake. Am I saying wrong? Shoemake. And he's basically saying he was contacted. He's saying himself, the other people who was contacted by the gentleman before. Was it? I think it was New Year's Eve. I want to say no. Yeah, it was either New Year's Eve or the day before New Year's Eve. It had to do with the truck itself. Oh, you was thinking? You was thinking the explosion had to do with something malfunction with the truck itself? Yeah, I can easily see a thought like that. And so basically, if y'all don't know who Sean Ryan is, Sean Ryan's a UFC guy, special forces guy. He interviews a lot of like government people. I think special force, or prior military, so probably some current people that work for agencies within agencies, different things like that. And so what we're going to hear. I don't know why I didn't label the 10-minute mark in my notes, but what we're going to hear is pretty much is the Sam gentleman is going to be telling Sean that why did I forget the person's name? But anyways, the person that died, I'll say died in the Tesla truck, he's going to be telling him that he reached out to him, and it seemed like that he's reaching out to a lot of other people, just trying to get onto a wide or a big platform before that happened. And like I was planning on talking about towards the end of this, to me, I was like, well, I mean, if everything he's saying was the exact case, and say he did delete himself, maybe that was like his last draw because he felt like nobody was responding to him or taking him serious. And what we're going to start with right here is about the 10-minute mark. And like I said, for some reason, I did not label it. I'm just trying to get exactly there. Kind of hard with this thumb-controlled mouse. And of course, we got to let the ad play right quick. Then I was just going to kind of pause it in between and ask y'all's opinions on different things.
He reaches out immediately, and I'm going to read this initial message for you because this doesn't have names or anything else on it, but this was his message on Sunday. He reached out and said, like I said, this last Sunday, he said, sending with a VPN active on Wi-Fi only. Do not message me. I will send out updates via both Signal and email, but trust me, you're going to want to be involved. Well, first of all, no, I didn't want to be involved. Anyways, and then, so I didn't message. I responded back to his original Instagram message. And I said, hey, I got your message on Proton Mail. And he said, cool, delete this. So I deleted it. That's how I ended up getting this message on Tuesday. So the message that this right here, this manifesto, if you want to call it that, came in on Tuesday. And when I started reading this, my initial take was, okay, this is off the deep end. It's bonkers. I can't validate or verify any of the stuff in this manifesto. Mm-hmm. And I told him that in a subsequent email. And I'll read that to you later, my response to him. And once again, my response to him elicited, hey, get me in contact with Sean Ryan, Fox News, and he even said Pete Hegseth. Get me in contact with Hegseth. And I'm like, dude, I don't have the incoming Secretary of Defense's phone number. Sorry, bro. That's the last time I talked to him. So yesterday morning.
What date was that?
That was Tuesday. That was this Tuesday. So we're Friday now. That was 3 days ago.
So
the day before.
30th?
Yeah, the day before the attack. I dismissed the stuff out of hand.
The 31st. It was on the 31st.
Yes. In fact, I posted something on my I told your producer about this as well. But this was a post I made on Twitter. I was just trying to be humorous, off the cuff. It was I didn't mean anything about it. I was just being humorous for my audience. I said, my inbox was especially eventful today. Allegations of war crimes, government anti-gravity technology, and fears about being tracked and watched by the feds. It's always, the world is ending and I have this information that needs to get to the media, and never, how you doing, brother? Everything all right? I was just playing off of a meme. Mm-hmm. It was just supposed to be a joke. That was the body of his email that he sent me. And I didn't think anything about it. I didn't know who Matt Berg was, Matt Livelsberg, or anything else. He told me who he was in the email. He pointed me to his LinkedIn account. I didn't know any of this stuff. And I was just kind of being humorous with my audience. Like, I get these crazy messages sometime. And then the day after that message, I wake up and my buddy was like, hey, Sam, nobody in the community seems to know this guy. Do you happen to know who he is? And I played that for you before we came up here. Just absolute shock. That's how I woke up yesterday.
Do you want to play it now?
All right. So really quick, if you can take a mental note of that, how he said that nobody in the SF community, knows that guy. Just remember that, because it's going to be later on towards the end. And I'm about to jump up to 13 minutes and 40 seconds, and that's going to be the voice recording of the gentleman. But I guess really quick before I do that. You didn't really miss too much at all, Granny. I just kind of played this Sam Shoemates guy's intro. He's on the what's the name, the Sean Ryan show. And then, like I had said this morning, I agree with a few other people that talked about it. I don't think I would turn anything into. I would say nothing. I mean, I guess he didn't know at first, but I wouldn't say anything to this Sam Shoemate guy because I mean, you'll see later on. He quickly, easily said, you come to me with stuff, I'm gonna turn into the FBI. If the FBI, if they're looking like one of the main, I guess I don't know who you say suspects, bad guys in this, maybe why did you even say that? But so I'm about to play a voice recording from another person in the like Intel Special Forces community guy that had contacted the Sam gentleman that you see on the camera right now. That's going to pretty much say he does not know who the Matt guy is and that nobody heard of him. And I was just saying, just keep mental note that he had said that nobody has heard of him. And that's 1340. If I can just barely move my thumb. We'll do that 1337.
If you ever want to know why I block ads with Pi, this is why I block ads with Pi.
I just found what may be the biggest.
I don't get ads on my phone. I don't know why I get ads on my tablet.
To go. I'm not playing. And then he said, damn. And then this was my response to him at 8:48. Like, just woke up.
Dude, I'm fucking shaking, bro. You don't understand. This guy emailed me and told me he was being watched by the FBI and Homeland Security, but they weren't going to do anything to him because he had a VBID. I'm not fucking playing, dude. I have the email. I am shaking, man. This is nuts.
And it goes.
All right. So if anybody doesn't know what a VBID is, it's like it's pretty much a booby trapped vehicle, a vehicle IED. And my bad. So that was the Sam guy playing that to somebody else. Again, and I'm not trying to doubt him, but it's like with stuff like this, you gotta kind of question everything, question all the ends of everything. Questions. People got motives. Do they want to be seen? Some people do want to be seen for whatever reason. Some people don't. I don't know. There's just one part just kind of had me kind of like, oh, I don't know. And then when it comes to these kind of things, if something's trying to be covered up, you can't put it past anybody, any agency, the government, whatever, to try to throw different types of bits of information in there to try to confuse people or whatever. So the next part I have is actually, I think it's going to be him showing the email. And I was just going to show that part myself. And so y'all can get a closer view at it. So actually, I'm going to let him talk for a second and then see. He should be mentioning the email pretty soon.
From there, and I sat there for probably an hour talking to my wife. I'm shaking. I can't even think straight. Like, normal day is shot, and I didn't know what I want to do. Do I sit on this? Do I do nothing with it? I've got to tell somebody. I've got to tell the FBI at least, because this is huge. This is all over the news. And then I was like,
there you go.
Dude, this guy wanted to get in contact with Sean Ryan, so let me get this to Sean Ryan, see if I can get with him. And I had a buddy who knew your producer, and we went from there. But
wow. Do you want to read the email?
Yep. So this email came in on December 31st at 10:42 a.m. That is Tuesday.
Can y'all see that pretty good? If not, I had screenshotted it, blew it up, and oops. But yeah, so can y'all see that pretty good or no? Is that easy for y'all to read? If not, I'll switch over to my email. I don't know if the comments are moving slow on one end or not the other. To say, but he made that comment. Right, D. What? I don't know what's going on with my thing. Wait. Oh, first of all, can y'all hear me good? You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Instead of doing all that, I'm gonna make this one single layout real quick, and I'll let y'all go through that. And then when we're done, I'll just switch it back to mine.
He said, in case I do not make it to my decision point or onto the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then.
Okay.
First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones, he puts that in quotes, he says drones, is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the US. Only we in China have this capability. Our OPSEN, that's Operations Center, our OPSEN location for this activity is in the box below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they use the balloon for SIGINT and ISR, which are also part of the integrated comms system. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. U.S. government needs to give the history of this, how we are employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast. I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico, but won't because they know I am armed and I have a massive VBID. Let me pause right there for a second. So he says a massive VBID. When I was talking to the FBI yesterday, they didn't know what a VBID was. I had to explain what that acronym meant, literally.
You fucking serious?
Dead serious. I said it twice and he goes, you said that word VBID. Can you tell me what that is? For your audience, a VBID, for your audience who has not been in the GWAT for the last 20 years, a VBID is a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. In layman's terms, a car bomb, what we saw at Trump Tower. So backing up, he says, I am armed and have a massive VBID. I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me. Here's where he gets into the other stuff. And this is where we had to redact the names. Well, your producer redacted the names. I have knowledge of this program and also war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in Nimruz province, Afghanistan in 2019 by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA. I conducted targeting for these strikes of over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of civcas, that's civilian casualties, that killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. U.S. FORA continued strikes after spotting civilians on initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft in CENTCOM. The UN basically called these war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with U.S. FORA, an agent, redacted, of the DEA. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with redacted IO staff on this as well as the response to Bala Murghab. Redacted commander at the time, redacted can validate this. You need to elevate this to the media so we avoid a world war because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. Then he says, for vetting, my LinkedIn is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty 18 Zulu out of 110, that's 1st Battalion 10th Special Forces Group. My profile is public. I have an active TSSCI with UAP, USAP access.
That's a security.
What is USAP? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is. But I checked his.
That's his security clearance, y'all. Let me hop back to the other one. So, really quick before I jump to the next part, what did y'all think about that? Why do I keep doing that? Or what's on y'all's mind about what you've heard so far? That's not what I wanted. Bro. Whatever. Any thoughts from anybody? It's not how I wanted to do it, but that's fine. It's whatever. Oh, I forgot it's kind of slower on the computer. You don't believe it's a bombing like him trying to bomb? No, I don't think so neither. Like I said, just from this so far right now, I personally kind of feel like it wasn't him. They don't know who all he contacted. So instead of just getting rid of him silently, they're like, let's put the bait out there. Let's fish a little bit. Let's make it look like someone's trying to do a statement or an attack on one of Trump's properties. Let's GPS throw in front of Trump's spot, blow it up. But again, like I said, and the date and time would have to be on it, would have to be accurate. We'd have to look out the windows. I might be saying too much, but we have to look out the windows to see the time of day it is and stuff. Those Tesla vehicles, especially the modern ones, especially the newest ones, they record the whole time on the inside. I mean, it could be for whatever reason, investigation reasons, they haven't showed us that yet, but they need to be dropping us those inside recordings of the vehicle. Then we would see if he was conscious, who was in there driving, whatever. And who knows, we might get it, and the person might be running around with a face mask on or something, like I was gonna wear, but instead I decided to wear my other mask. They can be running around with the face mask on or whatever. Who knows? Yeah, definitely, Granny. I agree. Just taking it all in. We need recordings. Yeah. I feel like I believe Matt. Believe. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to say it'd be a lot to trump up, but again, certain entities, certain agencies, there's no dollar sign, there's no production limit. And it could be sometimes it's for something that we feel like is ridiculous. Like, okay, why not just admit to the country y'all wasted some money or y'all lost some money or y'all lost some brand new whatever. I don't know. But I want to say right now, yeah, I agree, D. Like for the most part right now, I'll have to agree because a lot of the credentials and stuff add up and it's just so much is being said. So many names that can be said is thrown out. So many people that can't be, names that cannot be said is mentioned or pointed to. All right, my next note is at 23 minutes and 45 seconds. And it's the no one has heard of him part. This is the part that kind of had me like, okay. But this other very well-known YouTuber and gentleman that's been on TV, it's called nicknames himself and his chat. I'm actually sub to him. I haven't watched any of his stuff in a while though. He calls his chat and himself like the warrior poet. 23:45. I'll stop at 42.
If I went to heaven tomorrow,
Oh my God.
I'd want all diabetics, including you, to know about it.
Tend to fall
Fed up
for
with
the
headaches,
oak
blurred vision, and running to the
thing.
toilet every hour.
I
So
agree.
all you need is your fridge, garlic.
It's hard to
You
ask.
received a
Agree, D. I agree. It's so easy for us to look at the first thing. What? Oh, so easy for us to look at the first thing that's like what? Oh, because the way I switched this. So easy for us to look at to go off of the headline, the thing that's thrown on our face the most, different things like that. We tend to do that often. All right, let me start this next part. In this, this is pertaining to what I said about take note about how the Sam guy said, so he's never heard of him, and how the Sam guy said the other people in the Intel Special Forces community or Green Beret community hasn't heard of him.
Message from somebody that says nobody's heard of this guy. Tim sent me a picture of him working shooting with this guy, and I don't know if I should release that photo or not, but Tim basically told me this. So I got the POA's number, the public affairs officer, sent it to
They were on the History Channel
Tim.
together.
He talked to
Perfect line.
them, and what they wanted us to know was that this guy was an upstanding soldier, an excellent operator, was moving on, was moving towards retirement and moving on to basically enhance the future of warfare. They wanted us to know that. Then the PA officer, sounds like almost jokingly said, which I don't know why you would joke about this, said that, oh, and between us, which why the fuck would a POA officer say between us? I mean, if they didn't want us to know that information,
I'm gonna let
they
it keep
just
on
wouldn't have
playing to the
told us
next
that.
part, because the next part
But they wanted us to
is
know,
gonna be at 25
obviously,
9.
that
It's already
the DNA
almost
with
25
his-
minutes right now.
with his supposed child was not a match. And so I think what they were trying to do is basically make this out to be, oh, this is why this happened. He got bad news that that's not his child, and so that's why he did it. But with all the other context, especially with the 2019 incident, which was obviously a cover-up, I think that has a major role in this. The other thing is, I started receiving a lot of messages from one of the redacted names, who's a DEA agent, the one that he's talking about in the email to you. We got it from multiple sources, one of which was actually a videographer for me, I think 4 years ago. He worked for me a very short period of time. I had to let him go. He joined the Army, went to OCS, became an Army officer, sent me a text, super freaked out. Apparently he was on some rafting trip with somebody that knows the DEA officer, and said, hey, this guy's still operational. He wants his name redacted.
Wow.
Not the only one. Then I received a message from another very close friend of mine, who's been on the show several times, saying that he got word that this guy was still operational. And so that's why we decided to redact his name. I was getting upset because I didn't receive any communication up to that point. Well, then I checked my LinkedIn. I said, let me see if this guy actually messaged me. Sure as shit, that DEA agent did message me, said that he wanted to talk to me before tomorrow's interview. It was really important.
Wow.
We tried to contact him, not from my phone. I'm not calling any of these people, but from somebody else's phone. He didn't pick up, and we weren't going to send any text thread to show any communication between us any more than the LinkedIn message. And I didn't hit him on LinkedIn. So that also 100% checks out. Now, the weird thing is anonymous as this guy wants to remain, if I remember correctly, he posted something about the Green Beret that set the bomb off.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that was his latest post. Well, Jeremy, what was it? What did the post?
And it was just a report of the story.
It was just a report of the story. So very interesting how all this stuff is lining up. What do you think?
I told the guys this downstairs, I jokingly said this to my wife the day that I got that email, because I read the email to her. You all have heard the email now. You realize without context of who this person is, how just crazy it sounds. And I told her, I said, well, I mean, I guess if the dude ends up getting rolled up by the feds or he gets killed, we got a story, huh? Man, famous last words, right?
The next part I was going to go to is at 28:35. So might as well just let it play out.
Yeah, that's so
Okay, let's be honest. New Year's resolutions can feel exhausting. Get fit, eat better, journal more. I mean, the list goes on. All right, but what if
I looked at, and I want to give context on one of the things. I saw this going around on social media. People were saying that his Signal chat, his safety number changed. I don't know if you saw this on X, but it was all over X. Apparently his safety number on Signal changed. He messaged me on Signal. So I went on there to look myself to see if it changed. And sure enough, it had. On January 1st, after the bombing, after he was dead, his safety number changed. That's all he sent me. He said initial contact, and I gave a thumbs up, and his safety number changed at the bottom.
Look at that.
That's after he's dead. I don't know enough about Signal to know why that would happen. Somebody has to have manipulated that, though, and messed with it. Somebody had to have been in his account after the fact and done something for that to have changed.
What did the FBI say when you contacted him?
Not a lot. I gave him the story on what went down. Was very over the top, telling them, hey, I am being transparent in every way. Feel free to contact me at any time. This is my address, my name. This is why he contacted me. This is my social media page. This is any reason why this could.
All right. I'm pause there for a quick second. So I know it's kind of a little bit, but kind of a lot. What are y'all feeling about that? I wanted to throw the part in there about his Signal number changing. I'm not completely sure what that app is. I don't think it's a military app. I think it's one of those safety checking apps, to be honest with you, I think. But, I just thought that was interesting. It's not super relevant to it. And then, do y'all need me to go back to anything? Are y'all following pretty good so far? I'll give y'all a second to see if the chat moves, see if anyone says anything. It's 3014. Taking it all in. Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the next part. So the next part, all I wrote. I don't know. I just wrote Obama on the next part. I don't even remember what I was meaning. You're good over here? Okay. See if we get an ad or if it just plays.
To email us. This came in on December 29th, 2024 at 10:17 p.m. Emailed through the support desk on SeanRyanShow.com. And by the way, all these emails will be posted on my X account, SeanRyan762, and your X account,
Samosaur.
All right, here's the message traffic. Hey man, this is an active duty SFTM sergeant out of 10th. I want to blow the whistle on our activities in a certain place. I'm willing to sit down with you on the 31st in Flagstaff or do it remotely via phone. Must be done before the 31st as I'll be leaving.
So that was
we'll
Matt
be sending this to the FBI as well.
The host of the
love
show.
your contact. I'm also gonna hit some people I know over there, but I just, these people don't always talk. So I think it would be good to keep some continuity here. But so we did receive an email. What was this guy's? You deleted the message.
The burner account on there, I did. He told me to delete it, and I did. It's a common practice. People get spooked and they want it deleted, so I do it for them.
Yeah, I was going to throw that up there, but there's tens of thousands of messages in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very obvious why he did this, I think. He wanted to bring attention to the incident in 2019 that got covered up. Do you have any insight, any theories on this?
So we had a running theory downstairs. I've seen all the conspiracies. I've seen all the questions about, all right, this guy is what, 20-year special forces. He just got done with team sergeant time. He is a very qualified and very capable Green Beret.
Some people feel like
everybody I've spoken to,
I don't know. I just feel like
who knew the guy prior. Yesterday, I spoke to several people, to include his old team leader, who's now lieutenant colonel. Said he was fine. nothing out of place. His mental state was not something that anybody was concerned about. His ex-girlfriend posted photos of him bragging about how he got a Tesla and all this other stuff. So stick with me here. Very capable guy, but he loads the Tesla up, a Tesla, which Elon Musk brags about being bulletproof, right? So this is one of his selling points. It's bulletproof. We even saw Joe Rogan shoot an arrow at it and wasn't able to puncture this thing. So he loads up a Tesla knowing that it's going to, not explode like he wants it to with fireworks and a bunch of other junk when he can make a car bomb that's going to level this place. Here's what I think. So the PAO, the Army PAO, is saying that the body inside the cab did not match the DNA of his child. All right. We also know that there was no, they said he was shot by a Desert Eagle. We know that there was no signature when it rolled up. So nobody shot themselves when it rolled up to it. You would have seen a large signature. Mr. Guns and Gear, he's on X. He goes into this a lot in depth. He's a firearms expert and he talks about this. There's no signature. So this is what happens. You get a Tesla because you know it can drive itself up to the hotel, the Trump Tower. You put a body in it, roll it up. It's already burned up, or it's already shot, excuse me. You don't want to kill anybody because that's not the message you're trying to send. You're not trying to level the tower or kill a bunch of people. So you load it up with fireworks and a bunch of junk to send a message. And we know that his signal number or his signal safety number changed. That can't be done unless you're inside that signal account. And a lot of people conjecture, was the FBI inside his signal account, whatever else. But what if he accidentally changed his safety number, goofed up there? He rolled a body up in a Tesla specifically because a Tesla can drive itself up to the tower and did what he did to send a message to expose his stuff. And he's still alive out there somewhere.
Well, the other
answers
thing
a lot
is,
of questions.
The other thing is maybe the FBI wasn't in his phone. Maybe, I mean, this guy's obviously very competent. I mean, he's got a TSSCI clearance for the polygraph. It's been associated with USASOC. Obviously, he was on this operation in 2019. By the way, the general in charge of that was General Miller. You'll see that in the email that we post on X later after this interview comes out. Maybe he changed his number on purpose and switched phones because he obviously was tipped off or conducted his own counter surveillance and caught Homeland or FBI tracking him. And so I think there's a very good possibility that that Matthew Livelsberger might be still alive.
It checks, as far as I can tell, it checks all the blocks.
The Desert Eagle, the Desert Eagle, I mean, yeah, a little over the top firearm. But if you think about it, if he was going to kill himself or whoever was in that car was going to kill themselves, look, if I was going to commit suicide with a firearm, I would go with the biggest possible caliber of bullet that I could to make sure that it actually worked, because I wouldn't want to be sitting there choking all over myself with a fucking 9mm or something.
True.
So that is, as far as I know, a 50 caliber Desert Eagle is the biggest handgun caliber that you can get. And so that could play into this as well. But
all right. So again, like I was saying while they were talking, for me, they're concentrating way too much on what happened in 2019 with there was quite a few incidents of us doing targeted drone strikes that hit civilians. Even we've hit U.S. citizens that might have been kids of terrorists before, but they were still technically innocent and they were U.S. citizens. They're concentrated on that part too much versus talking about the current relevancy. And I don't think that I mean, yeah, that's something he probably want to expose, but they completely left the drone stuff behind. And that was one of the main things that he said at the beginning of it. He's saying, from what they're saying, he's saying that he knows it's China doing the same thing that we've been doing to them for a few years now. Pretty much trying to put us in like a checkmate position, saying, hey, we got technology like yours or the same technology as you, where we can hit you undetected super fast anywhere, anytime, just like you guys can. That's what they're saying that he's saying. And the last part of this is them kind of going off of, I guess, their theories of his psyche during the time, I believe. And then we'll jump back. I'll jump back to the single screen. And give y'all a second to drink it in and then see how y'all feel about everything we just heard. What is it, 42.25? We'll do 23. After another commercial.
Different directed EMP weapons brought him on. He's also founder of Palantir, big AI platform that the military's been using. That kind of And the other thing is, we do have the capability to take these drones out. Well, everybody was trying to figure out what the drones on. I brought on a very prominent businessman, Joe Lonsdale, who is the co-founder of a company called Epirus. Epirus is they manufacture these directed EMP weapons that can take out 100 drones at a time. With a basically it sends out a simultaneous different directed EMP weapons. Brought him on. He's also founder of Palantir, big AI platform that the military's been using. That kind of revolutionized warfare.
Big fan.
So we could have taken those drones out in any moment in time. In fact,
leftover New Year's side.
I know those are deployed. So that could be. So he had two objectives. One, he definitely wanted to bring light to 2019. That obviously affected his code of morals, and the drones.
Yeah.
And he's obviously very worried about World War III, which I think everybody right now. But why Trump Hotel? Why Las Vegas?
Yeah. Conjecture and speculation at this point. I couldn't even tell you. You know, I've heard both sides. I've seen them finding posts from his wife, who's very allegedly, I'm not saying this, I'm just saying what has been put out on social media is very anti-Trump. She has had a number of anti-Trump posts, and then him, who his family say he's a stalwart patriot, Trump supporter, all these other things, which I guess if I had to guess, just in the realm of conjecture again, I would say Trump Tower. It draws more media, more fanfare. Was this an assassination attempt? That kind of stuff. So you get more press, more media pulling into it because it is such a significant namesake, if you will. But at the same time, it was a fireworks display and very little more. And if I'm running with the theory that I proposed a little while ago, he didn't want to hurt anybody. He wanted to send a message.
I mean, it's very obviously, look, the guy's got great tradecraft. You know, I mean, he changed his signal number, if that was him, or his whatever the contact number on Signal. 20 plus year in special operations at the highest level. Picked a car that's bulletproof to do this. I think, there definitely wasn't mass casualties. He wasn't trying to hit mass casualties, because otherwise he would have done it at another location as well, or the bomb would have been bigger to take the entire building.
I agree.
Out. And so this definitely wasn't, in my opinion, this definitely wasn't incompetence.
Another thing to support this. So you got the email. He desperately wanted to talk to you before December 31st. He knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, January 1st was go day. Nobody was pressuring him. At the beginning of this email, we see, first of all, I'm not under duress or hostile influence or control. Okay. So he says that he reached out to you. He was very emphatic that it had to be before December 31st because he was doing this thing on January 1st. For some reason, that was a landmark day to him. Maybe it was just because big day for everybody, January 1st. But he was very emphatic that was the time. And then
I don't know, Jake.
The thing he was trying to do was overall, was get a message across on the biggest platforms possible. He was trying to talk to Pete Hegseth. Why would you want to talk to the Secretary of Defense? He's trying to blow the whistle on these war crimes. He's trying to say this thing happened, man. Like, I can't live with this anymore. He desperately needed to talk to you, the biggest platform out there. He needed to talk to Fox News. I need to get this message out. That was his overall goal. In everything else, everything I've seen, I have not seen the intended goal was to kill himself or to create a mass casualty event. It is to get this message out. And how can I do that? What is the biggest bang for my buck? How can I get that done? That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. It's a damn good point. Wow. Do you think there was any correlation between him and the New Orleans?
They're pretty much just gonna say, is there any correlation between him and the New Orleans thing? You say no, even though we've all heard that they rented the vehicles from the same place. But other than that, the time period that you would say that the New Orleans guy was indoctrinated, in case if anyone wants to jump up now, what was indoctrinated, the way that the Tesla truck explosion was, how again, whether it was him, whether it was a government agency, whoever, didn't want anybody hurt, versus the New Orleans one, he's definitely trying or he definitely was aiming to hurt people because he did. No, there's no correlation to that. But it is a huge coincidence, real huge coincidence that they got their vehicles from the same place. Anyways, so for me, from just the last part, pretty much like I had said earlier, I'm trying to translate my own shorthand. Take out Jones. Oh, that's just me writing a note there saying where you're talking about the the different technologies we have. Like I said before, talking about other things, or when you're talking about Ukraine and like even though it's Russia, technically, they're the bad guys, the ones against us in this. This is still messed up. When you see the Russian soldiers, how just they're already instantly shell shocked and in fear because of all the drones, and I was just like, it's like, dang. So it's like Russia really doesn't care that much to not invest any money into anti-drone technology when a lot of the drones that Ukraine is using is basic drones, anyways. It's like when we added drones to the battlefield, we instantly added defenses against drones. But that's a whole different thing. But I was pretty much just saying, so if an agency did it, or I feel like if it was done by an agency, see that they don't know who he may have contacted. Like I said earlier, so they had to pull up to the Trump Towers to send a signal, kind of like as a phishing thing, see who else comes out, or maybe to push people off the trail. Or if it was him, maybe he was like, oh, okay, no one is taking me seriously, because remember, he contacted a lot of these people, I think on the 30th and the 31st. I don't think only the other dude, the Matt dude, was really even responding to him or getting back to him. Or not Matt, I just forgot the other guy's name. But anyways, only the guest speaker was really, it seemed like the only one getting back to him, contacting him back. So he could have been like not enough people taking me serious. I'm gonna do something that's gonna force people to pay attention to this, to take it serious. And again, for me, and even a few other people I talked to, and even I think another YouTuber I've seen, kind of feel like that they concentrated way too much on the 2019 Team Jones strike where we hit a target, but we also hit a bunch of civilians. I don't think he'd do all that, just focus on that one thing, because there's been quite a few of those. And there's so many of them that you can point out where the evidence is already there. They've already been brought to light. So many of them. I think it might be a little bit of that and a little bit of the drone stuff, possibly. What do you guys think after hearing all that? Jacob said something. You feel like they're trying to plug themselves. I mean, there might be, but I think that they're also pushing out some light, some light onto what he sent. Well, essentially, both of them, and trying to contact Sean as well, but Sean didn't realize a lot of that stuff until later. But what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about what was said about China and the drones? Kind of, I mentioned it a little bit earlier about the after I heard about this, I was like, yeah, we have had anti-gravity technology for years now. Like, y'all think back, I think to 2000, maybe 17, maybe it was 18 or 19. Started to see the first little small clips on YouTube of the Navy dudes on Navy ships holding these little briefcase things with the backpack packing that they would launch up, float around a little bit, and then come back and land back on the boat. That was us demonstrating anti-gravity technology, and they wouldn't have even shown that in the public on YouTube if we weren't far past that. You know what I mean? Well, because sometimes you miss the beginning, because sometimes, again, you want to prove a point, get a signal out there. So you got to think about this, Jake. This dude is a highly trained special forces dude. Work with drones. Work with bomb drones, IDs, or bomb making stuff, things like that. If he was really trying to hurt somebody, he wouldn't have used fireworks and gas cans. You know what I'm saying? He would not have used fireworks and gas cans. He could have went to a buddy, this instructor at a breachers course, and got some extra C4. He could have made some napalm. Could have made some C4. You know what I'm saying? I highly doubt. Like I won't even do nothing that basic. I mean, I would never do something like that. Period. Let's get that straight. But I won't even do something that basic. It's super basic. And a lot of people like them, they don't think it was him. They think he was killed before it happened. That at the beginning, how he had said to them, he's being followed, but they won't approach him because for one, they know he's trained, they know he's armed, and they also know that, well, as he said, that I have a very big booby trap vehicle, VBID, VBID. Makes you truly think. I wasn't sure what the heck the whole drone thing was about. And Granny was seeing a lot of them, so I was like, let me pay attention. Oh, yeah. So Jake, the other part you might have missed is it was pretty much the guy inside the Tesla truck. He wanted it to be known that the drones we've been seeing is China trying to put us in like a checkmate situation, letting us know that like how we've been seeing these drones all over the place. Apparently, we've been doing the same thing to them, and letting them know it's like we can hit you at any time, any spot, and you want to know because these things are highly undetectable stuff, like they can fly and move in directions that jets can't. They're fast, they're small. All I got to do is load them up with explosives, fly them into whatever, China's capital, to our capital, whatever. So that's what that's the message he was trying to get out, is that those drones we've been seeing is from China, and that they have us in a checkmate situation that the government doesn't want us to know, because part of control is not having mass panic. They don't want people panicking, questioning them. Well, what are we going to do about this, and that? I don't know if we have anything other than EMP stuff that can. Well, I mean, yeah, you could set up a nationwide grid. Now you'd have to set it up so it's not dropping planes out the sky, commercial planes and stuff. But it's just a part of the whole control thing that they don't want us to know. And this, he can correlate this to so many movies. Interstellar. Are you being sarcastic? You should have been here from the beginning, Jake. So you could put it all together versus just me saying. And like just, you know, I mean, if you think about it, how the government likes to operate, it makes sense. A part of control doesn't always have to be negative, but part of control is controlling panic. Like kind of like what they're saying about when we first started to hear about COVID. They're like, well, why wasn't this said? Why wasn't that said? You know, part of the protocol is you don't put everybody into a mass panic. Now, rest of it, what happened after that, it's whatever. Well, you know, whatever your opinion is. But at the beginning of the COVID stuff, like, I got it. I understood. You know, why they're saying, you know, at first it's not a huge problem here. Doesn't always mean it's the right thing to do. Other than Jacob's Interstellar. Y'all got any thoughts, anything on your mind about it? That actually went shorter than I wanted it to. If not, if you want to get to hear opinions of a few other people, I can put somebody I do like to follow's YouTube up there. No, this ain't from mine. Where's my list at? Oh, here. Nope. So I gotta get past this ad.
Guys, welcome to Black Scout Survival.
And I won't play a whole lot of this. I'll just play a little bit of it. So I really am curious to see what y'all's thoughts is, including Jacob's Interstellar.
There's another story here. Las Vegas Cybertruck bomber was Donald Trump supporter, according to first wife, friend Stacey Wilson's unstable, misogynistic, emotionally abusive. Now, when I looked up who Stacey Wilson's was, she was a literal blue, pink, purple-haired leftist. Like she's full bore, wearing taking pictures with a mask on in her profile. But anyway, let me just read some of the things that was said about him. So he says that Matthew was unstable, misogynistic, and emotionally abusive to his first wife. And I think it's comical that they're painting that along with him being a Trump supporter, because that's what they say about Donald Trump.
I'm gonna skip.
And she says, I never considered him to be stable or solid. A close friend of active duty Green Beret, now ex-wife Sarah, told DailyMail.com. I always felt like he was intimidated by Sarah's strength and beauty and whatnot. He was kind of insecure, and she was not in a great place in life, and he was not supportive of her getting happy and healthy.
Okay, I guess a lot of it was.
I think she probably was pretty, but if you look at everyone he's been with, he has a pretty good batting average, right? So I don't think this man was insecure whatsoever. I don't see that. He's a Green Beret. She said, goes on to say, Sarah divorcing him and leaving him was the best thing that she could have done. She says that they believe
before the explosion. Livelsberger texting, I read
reach success. You know, there's some outliers, but and
I don't want to get to the wrong part. Come on.
See photos here. Elite, the tip of the spear. And I want him to discuss, he's discussed this before, but a lot of people I tried to talk about the other day, whenever you mention anyone in the intel world, you mention people, special forces, because I hear rhetoric about special forces like, oh, this guy, he's probably doing black ops. It's not necessarily even true. You know what I mean? And the intelligence and these secret clearances and these things are so compartmentalized that, or compartmented, that you're not going to know what Jimmy's doing or Jake's doing over here, because it's only on a needs to know basis and what your mission is. And just so everyone knows, Special Activities Division is the tactical unit, right, Mark? Paramilitary unit of the Central Intelligence Agency. So it's not like it's similar to like what Delta and SEAL Team 6 would be doing, except you work a lot of times alone, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you make the distinction, well, and obviously we're trying to draw from, and fill our ranks from people who already have a lot of that skill set. I mean, you do a lot of training, but I mean, you're still, again, it's the CIA, so you're working intelligence operations. You're just more of the direct action side of it. But if you're traditionally called a case officer, everybody euphemistically calls people spies. We're not spies, we're intelligence officers. And then within SAD, you're an intelligence operator with a whole lot of shit that goes boom. So
yeah.
I don't know, better way to say it. I guess that's about how to do it.
Never mind, because I don't even remember exactly where it is. My main thing is I want to know what's y'all's thoughts on it. I should have saved that part. Took note of that part. Miss D or Granny, if you're still in here. Mimi, I know you missed a decent amount of it too, but you might have heard enough. Anybody? Oh, the other one that I just put on. You want to see it? Okay. 1 second.
So I want to touch first off on the spy school thing. You explained this to me yesterday because she was apparently in the Army as well, and she was in the medical field, but they attended a quote unquote spy school together.
So my just comment on that is, again, just like, people say things and use language that might not necessarily represent or truly reflect, the event at hand. So like, if you're a new, if you're brand new and you've been enamored by like that whole thought of like, oh, I'm going to go do intelligence work, any little bit, even if you're on the outer circles of that, the moment you start getting into that stuff, depending on what your background is and just how like you get excited about things, you would say silly things like that. Oh, we're going to spy school. I mean, some people even reference the farm like in that kind of those type of words, and it's like, this isn't spy school, like just stop calling it that. But so I don't know, but that to me would mean, and it could mean anything, whether it's they were doing stuff with drones, is that their relationship? Did he go to, so like in the military, this is open source information. So there's different levels of training for different levels of what you're trying to do, whether it's SIGINT, PSYOPs, human, so signals intelligence, psychological operations, or human intelligence, like, trying to spot, assess, develop, and recruit spies. They may have met in something like that. My kind of understanding, and I don't know if we'll get to it, I tried to actually pull up the article so I could be a little bit smarter on referencing, because I read that email days ago, and he's talking about something that led me to believe that he probably had gone through, and anyone out there in the SF world or or the military world, because my intelligence side is from the agency, not necessarily from the military, but he probably went to so ASOT, he's probably Advanced Special Operations Techniques. That's kind of a school.
He did attend that school.
He did? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I got that impression he probably did something like that. And that's maybe what she's referencing. Because again, somebody who's new, not in the military, this is your, because again, it's cloak and dagger. It's attractive.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that I do the same thing because, you know, and I think that's why a lot of people like me, because I say things so civilians can understand. Because I've been out for quite some time, and just in general life, when I'm talking to regular people and I'm using the military lingo, they have no idea what I'm saying. So I dumb things down or remove even military lingo to discuss things. So similar, like me being airborne qualified, you know, we call that on whenever they're looking up Marines to use for something, they see who is a Marine parachutist and what that little MOS, secondary MOS is, right? If I was to say that to a civilian, I was a Marine parachutist, I would just say I'm a paratrooper. Even though we don't have paratroopers in the Marines, I would just say paratrooper because they know what the hell that is. Just to dumb things down. It's kind of like I hear people say even clips for magazines. SF guys say that, you know, I've heard them do it, and they do that to dumb it down to the civilian populace, because a lot of people don't know what, you know, you say a magazine, they think it's something you're like reading.
But on that one, we should be educating up, not dumbing.
We should on that one.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
and then so back to kind of to your question. So, and with your permission, we kind of talked about it. I'll sidebar just a little bit onto the media, but so back to that level, or that initial email. Now, is all this stuff fake? I guess let me just throw my, you know, my tinfoil hat. I've got to make myself a tinfoil hat, by the way, but I'll throw my tinfoil hat into it. It's just amazingly circumspect. It's again, just like when the last time you had me on, you know, like, hey, this is speculation, but I'm just challenging people to ask yourself a question. Why in the hell would that happen? Like, it was very interesting to me to see all these stories change within like 24 to 48 hours.
Quickly.
And not only are people walking it back, so to the point I was trying to make, I tried to go look in, like, you know, more modern mainstream media to find that initial letter that was purported. And you can't find it. There's no stories about this gentleman or NOLA, New Orleans. That is like already out of the headlines.
The only thing that you can find now is you see PTSD.
Yep.
You see here PTSD again. Then you start seeing demonizing of veterans. What drives soldiers, veterans to carry out deadly attacks? Then we have your state up there, New Orleans attack in Vegas, explosion highlight extremist violence by active military and veterans. So this is the kind of rhetoric that's happening now. Now, I do have some other evidence I'm going to show in a moment. And I just want to get your opinion on that as well. But there has been some break with the initial guy, Shu, I think is Shoemate is his name, the chief warrant officer, intel analyst, who initially approached Son Ryan. Jameson Travels, that's a great channel. He's a former Marine, old crusty Marine. And but he showed this, I think, yesterday, and I got a clip of it. But Shoemate essentially walking back saying, yeah, he thinks he was just, he lost it. Here we go.
It's called Pi, and if that sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen their ads everywhere. It's an ad blocker that works on Twitch, YouTube, and
screw loose. He was not a crazy dude, whatever else. And that's what I knew. And then after the podcast, I found out that it was literally, he changed his medication within days of this event.
Well, we have a twist in the Cybertruck Green Beret in the source. So a 180 here. We got the gravity drones and we got all these war crimes allegedly. Now we come to find out from Sam that it's a 180. He just had a mental break. Stand by.
And something shifted.
So even the first source is now saying that he shifted the story. He's going by the narrative. Okay. Yeah. So when we look at the initial email here, I'll throw it up here. Mark noticed something quickly. You mentioned decision point. So decision point is a technical term in the intelligence world. Maybe, you know, everyday folks are not going to pick up on that. Explain more about what that is, Mark.
Sure. And then just before I do, though, just because you played the clip, I didn't know what you're doing. That guy, he is a crusty old Marine. I'd love to have a beer with that dude. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, he is definitely fits the part. But so something I brought up to Jack, so something that had been bothering me since I first saw these emails, and when I saw people reviewing it, everybody was talking about the decision point as though it was like he was making a mental decision, just like, do I buy eggs today or do I, put gas in the car, whatever your decision making matrix is. But in the intelligence world, and especially as Jack kind of said, if he has gone to ASOT, if he's done some of this advanced training, because in that email, he's talking about a decision point. And from my perspective, if you're out doing a surveillance detection route, and he might, and if he had that training, he might be doing an SDR like halfway around the country. He's claiming that he thinks he's being followed or he's being observed. And so as you're doing this, a surveillance detection route isn't to lose, like in the movies, it's like, oh, I'm going to try to lose these guys. That's not what you try to do. You try to lull them in, get them to sleep so you can better identify them and get notes and stuff.
Burn them.
Yep, you want to burn them, right? So, but you don't want to do it in a very, in your face, alerting type of manner. But you would have a decision point, right? So this is every SDR I've ever done.
Let me pause right here real quick. I just, I got to talk every now and then, so they don't be like it's whatever 80% of their video. Yeah, I mean, some of it or a lot of what they're saying right now is more so emphasizing on some of the parts that the other two was saying. But I think a little bit more on track about him personally and kind of like the background of somebody like him. I think that they're kind of leading into, again, why would he delete himself to get the message that he wants out? Hey, love, how you doing? Good. Oops. Good evening. All right.
In my career, there's a decision point, and that decision point is, do I have enough data, legitimate data, where I can make a solid decision to commit to my operational act, or I abort and then I go do a different operational act, again, designed to lull you into not knowing that I had observed you the whole time. So I thought that was interesting because everybody keeps talking about it like, I mean, you are making a decision, but this isn't about whether, again, like, do I get Cheerios or do I get Captain Crunch for, for cereal? Like, that's not the decision.
And so what,
and he does talk about, just real quick, he does talk about committing. If at this decision point, am I going to do this or am I going to do that? So it led me to believe that, again, if this is a guy who's off his meds and he's crazy, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a pretty rational, a very informed and a very structured decision-making process that coincides with a potential set of events that he may have been doing. Like his whole time in Vegas may have been part of his SDR, and had everything gone good, instead of going to Vegas at this decision point, maybe he goes to Vegas, and if it goes bad, or expression, if it goes good, he goes to Mexico and does whatever he was going to do there. Or if it breaks bad and he feels like he's under the surveillance and he's not going to make it across the border, then he aborts and he goes to Vegas to do something else. I mean, that's pure speculation, but that's what a decision point is in the intelligence world from a surveillance detection perspective. And I kind of just get the feeling that's what he may have been doing.
Yeah, I mean, because in the first email, he says that he feels like he's being followed by Department of Homeland Security or FBI. Yeah. Here's a video of him. This is wrongly labeled as Las Vegas. Apparently, this video is actually from a charging station in Arizona. But this is him charging. But I think that what you're talking about is tradecraft. And if he truly is feeling like he is on the radar by someone running SDR, surveillance detection routes and such, he's going to be very careful on everything he does. Now, what he said in there is he let them know, this is something that goes along with what you say in the letter. He says, or in the email, he says he's letting them know that he knows that they're, that they're following him. And so apparently he's already picked up at this point. So if he didn't mention anything about any sort of Cybertruck at the Trump Hotel, he doesn't mention any of those sort of things. So and there's theories that he didn't even write this email, even though it's kind of been verified that was written on an Android phone, the email. Now he had an iPhone they recovered, at the scene. That doesn't say he doesn't have multiple phones. He also had a Signal account and the code change after the fact. Now, I don't know if Signal has that capability to change on its own. I don't believe so. I think you have to manually change those codes in Signal. So I think he was doing everything from a tradecraft perspective, and he obviously would have had pace plans. I mean, dude, you're talking about a team sergeant in SF who also was worked in intelligence. I think I have his resume here. So he has the knowledge and the skill set and real world experience for this kind of stuff. And I would say this goes beyond of a SDR of even FBI now, or Homeland Security, probably his knowledge. Now their technical capabilities is probably wild at this point in time. I know that, talking to a lot of people are so like afraid of the government, all they can listen to me, this and that. And maybe you can elaborate with this. What I've been told is that if the government wants to listen to you, it doesn't matter if you go out in the woods naked with another person and you're talking, they are going to hear what you have to say.
I think you and I had that discussion once, and
yeah,
if they really want to,
y'all heard that, right?
Even if like you think you're inside of your house and you got, all the electronics.
For fair use purposes, let me just stop and emphasize on that part. I tell people all the time when people be like, the government's be in our phones, this and that. Yes, but at the same time, the government is looking for keywords. It's looking for stuff like bomb and you saying, specific places and around where I live and stuff like that. They're looking for you to connect those words. They're not sitting there, a person listening to every little thing we say, AI gathering up every little thing we say. I mean, yeah, it's recorded, but again, they're not looking at the average person. They're not looking. No, they're not looking at a lot of most military people. They're not even looking at different people that work for different agencies. So I tell people all the time, y'all don't gotta be so paranoid. All right, they're not looking for the average Joe. And yes, if they want to hear you, 90% of the time, if they want to find you, it's going to happen.
In a completely different place, whatever. Like, if we really want to do it, you're really never.
Matter of money.
Again, you'd have to have your own skiff.
Yeah.
You'd have to have your own secure, compartmented, giant Faraday cage. Anyway, you see what I'm getting at. You would have to have your own ability to have your own room that is totally shielded. And even at that point in time, is that really a guarantee? Because you're not the United States government. And, look, I mean, this is open source information. If you wanted to surveil somebody in their house, look at the house and look at the energy spikes. You can pick up where the person is moving through their room by what devices are coming on or turning off and things of that nature. So, yeah, surveillance from an actor like the United States or other Western countries, and to include Russia and China, those capabilities are. And again, my knowledge is a dozen years old. So imagine what they could do now, right? So, yeah.
And just real quick, just anyone who's interested in SDRs or any more about that, Mark actually has a article on my website, blackscoutsurvival.com, explaining that. I've also got videos on it. And dude, I mean, I use them at times just because the people following me, they recognize me and stuff like I do these sort of things, just for my own security. But so now I want to discuss. So we have a passport and a cash card that survived.
Deterrence, right?
Essentially, nothing else did. But an iPhone. Again, he used an Android. I think on this email it says from an Android here. Yep, sent from a Proton Mail for Android. Now this letter is completely different.
Oh my bad, I used you. Good night, dude.
That was recovered from his iPhone. The one from his iPhone is basically calling for veterans and active members of the military and all Americans to essentially go do something, go make a last stand, because it mentions nothing about, these were recovered from the FBI. These things were on his phone. There was nothing mentioned about drones. There was nothing mentioned about the civilian casualties of 2019. None of that was mentioned in these. It was basically, hey, veterans, hey, service members, you need to act now. This is the last your country existing. To me, if that's recovered from his phone, that is not enough to, that would not be enough for to be contacting all these people, because he was contacting multiple people online. He's asking to talk to Pete Hegseth. This is not something you would go bring to, they're going to look at you like this looks like something someone wrote up from the DOJ. DOJ has been painting patriots, painting Christians. Man, moms are going to the student parent-student meetings and talking against the 2020 nonsense. They were looking at those guys. People that, I mean, there's lists of people who bought Bibles, who bought MAGA hats, and these sort of things from the DOJ. This is not something someone at this guy's level would bring to Pete Hegseth. It doesn't make sense.
You are
I don't know if this is kind of gone in a slightly rabbit hole, and if it is, I mean, I don't mean to, but it's a good one. But, I think this is how I interpret, what I,
you were put on
the response that it's elicited, from when I hear what you just said. My response is, yeah, and as we said before, this is speculation. I'm not claiming to have the answer, but my challenge to everybody would be what you just said. Like, does that make any sense to anyone? You've got this one message, this one email that's laying out all this. And in that, he's using technical terms. To me, that's not showing somebody who's off of his meds or who's crazy. He's being, kind of lucid, right? He's being very clear, forthright, speaking in the language that he would normally speak, as in, because that's what you do every day, right? So you talk that way, as we kind of mentioned before, with acronyms and whatnot. Then the next set of messaging seems to be completely in 180 degrees in a different direction. And to what you just said earlier, Jack, again, everybody do your own research, but this, over the last 4 years, actually, it's been longer than that, but let's just take the last 4 years. Yeah, if you're part of if you're at a school board meeting, if you are a veteran, this is all out there. The DOD, DOJ, and other subcategories within have all had their little briefings saying, white males, prior service, military, like this is the real threat to the country. And then immediately after these two events, the events themselves are hush hush and quiet. And then, as Jack pointed out, now we have all these articles starting to talk about military veterans as a major threat to the country. So again, total speculation. I need to make a tinfoil hat, but it just doesn't add up. And it's causing me like, okay, hang on, none of this makes sense. And then all the witnesses or, the people involved, the stories flipping within 24 to 48. I mean, again, it just smells super fishy, right? And so me as an adult, I'm just like, and I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not stupid. I'm like, hang on a second. You're going to have to explain that to me in a pretty sufficient and well laid out, cogent argument of how this is. You can't just sit there and say, here's his set of emails and everything he's talking about. Oh, but because he was taking PTSD drugs, that was the crazy stuff. And now here's the real him. Like, that doesn't make any sense either. I mean, like, none of it just doesn't add up.
So also in this, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, in this email, he says, my first vehicle, just to, I guess, make sure that everyone understands he's not under duress, hostile influence, or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 verification. Now, Ian Carroll from Cancel Me Clothing or something like that, he found out that is not his vehicle. That's the year. It's not the year. It's the vehicle, but not the year. And it came out that people that know him, because in SEER you give ISO prep answers that.
I was just going to go to that. Yep. Thank you. Keep going.
To your these questions. So in case you get captured, whoever's coming to save you are going to ask these questions to identify, because they're going to treat you like a hostile. They're going to tag and bag your ass. And then they're going to ask questions to verify that is you. And a lot of guys give bullshit answers. They only things that they're going to know, because they don't really want their personal information. So if something really goes down, the people closest to them know the true information. So on the ISO prep, that car matches what he has listed.
So that was something, again, and thanks for having me on, because that's something I wanted to talk about from the very beginning when this first was breaking, because a lot of people were saying, see, this is bullshit because that's not his card. And I'm like, dude, that was an ISO prep question. He was doing tradecraft in that. And that's exactly what he was doing. He was letting the people who have access to the real records, who really know that, to know he wasn't under duress. And if anyone still doesn't quite get what we're talking about, I hate to bring up a Jason Bourne movie, but there are a couple scenes in some of like the initial Jason Bourne movies where you see this type of technique being employed. I'm trying to think of where, like, they're going to the office, or he breaks into an office and the female shows up and they call her up and she's got to code in certain words. That's kind of Hollywood-esque, but to Jack's point, that's exactly it. So I've had to do multiple ISO preps, and sometimes you're just updating your old ISO prep. So that's in case you get isolated, this is your preparatory, and you review it every time to make sure you got your questions and your answers down. And so when I saw that, I'm like, it doesn't matter if that was his first car or not. Is that what he wrote on his ISO prep? So I'm glad you brought that up. You're the only person I've seen in this space talking about this who mentioned the ISO prep, that was an ISO prep question. Good job.
Yeah. So,
I thought you said you and intelligence was an oxymoron.
I'm not. I'm the dumb guy. But the thing is that I think that email is full of just hidden nuggets, and I don't know. I think it's a complete different from the ones they found on the phone. Now, I want to play. Sean Ryan did an X Spaces last night, and he had on some people. And one guy, I guess his name was Matt. I think he was a GB2, and he kind of got a little. I'm not going to play that clip, but he kind of got a little like, "Hey, man, I've got things in place. If something goes down, like dead man switches, something happens, this information is being released." He seemed a little sketched out. You know what I mean? Apparently, because people were calling these guys like without really even hearing anything. How do they know unless they're listening to people? Number one. Now, but the Anti-Hero podcast, which I like that podcast, I think they do a great job exposing a lot of guys. But the main guy, I think he's a Delta guy. He was on last night. Now he's painting the narrative that the media is pushing at this moment. I'm going to play it and we're going to stop in and discuss it in between.
Want the fastest working
Hey,
GLP-1? For half the price, Roan now offers FDA-approved weight loss injections cheaper,
Right one.
with results you can
One
see
second.
faster.
I was gonna ask y'all, are y'all good on this? I was mostly letting the rest of this play for D. Glossy, if you missed the beginning, we're mostly just we were talking about the Tesla truck bomb and that guy and his connection to, well, I mean, I don't know if you heard what I was talking about this morning, and his connection to the drones and stuff like that. He was pretty much saying that it's China, the government doesn't want the word out. China doing the same thing to us that we've been doing to them to kind of let us know, like, hey, we can touch y'all just like you can touch us, because we've been doing that to them for a lot of years now. Which we have had, and these drones are using anti-gravity technology, and we have had anti-gravity technology for a long time. And I actually always thought it was kind of slick how we did it, because, like I said, if you remember back to 2017 or 18. You would start to see clips or shorts on, or just, I don't even think they had shorts back then, but short videos on YouTube of Navy guys holding a briefcase thing connected to a backpack thing, and they would jump off the ship, float around, and that was the anti-gravity technology, and then come back to the ship. And like I was saying, in the Navy, the only way that they were showing us that is because we've had the technology. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty much the crux of this live. So I guess I still have almost 15 minutes. We could talk about it, talk about some random things, or if y'all want, let that finish playing. It was definitely good, man. I mean, you know, I can go over any part of it, or you can catch the replay, as everyone always says. Up to you. Oh, there you go. You said it yourself. Yeah, I would say it's a good one. I was excited about it. I know Granny Informed Blood. She was looking forward to it. I guess I might as well finish out the 2 hours. I normally ask this at the beginning, but how's y'all evenings? How y'all feeling today? If Mimi's in here, Mimi, I'm not sure. You probably didn't get the same level of snow down south as I got up here, did you? And Georgia's probably colder, but it's not snowing or nothing there yet, right? But I think this next blizzard that's coming, I think Georgia's supposed to get a part of it. I know Texas and Florida are definitely in danger of catching some of that blizzard. I don't know how these blizzards always be hitting Texas and Florida, but be missing other southern states. It's supposed to do something by the weekend. Yep. I just hope the meat of it misses here because I'm already over just shoveling the driveway. How's this gonna be my daughter's first winter here when it started snowing? I'm gonna be like, Daddy doesn't shovel the driveway. I've never seen him do it. I almost fought her. Like, how are you gonna see me shovel the driveway if you ain't ever here when it starts snowing? You've been here once. Well, other than when she was a baby. And when she was older, she's been here once while the snow was here, and it didn't even start snowing. It wasn't even a lot of snow. It wasn't anything to actually shovel. I want to fight her. I don't know one else come over here. So believe me, if one of my neighbors with their tractors was willing to come over here for some pay and do it, I'd be all for it. I'm over it. At first, I'm like, no, ain't no one else doing it. But now, nah, we good. I'll pay you. I need to stop playing. Just get a small tractor myself. Something. Well, lucky y'all. That means y'all can't really make snowballs, can you? Anyways, I'm answering these people until I'm done. I should turn on that light out there. You talking about, well, you would chill out in the snow. You better be bundled up because that wind, the snow is fine. So to snow, it has to be warm. It has to be warm up high or down low, and then cold in the opposite. But it's the wind that gets you. And then when the snow's been sitting here for a few days, when it starts melting, it gets super cold. But I mean, if you dug yourself like a tunnel or something, you'd actually start sweating inside it. know I'm glad I'm not in Chicago or New York. Did I say inside? Oh well. Since Mimi's not answering, I know you and Mimi are the main two I ask all the time. How's the picture looking in my dining room with my Starlink? My Starlink that has a heater on it, so it melts the snow off of it. Now that part, Gloss, yeah, you're right. It was super quiet outside. When it was done snowing, there was no wind, so it was just like you said, super still. And over here, where I live, it's to the point to where you can almost, how do I say? I don't want to say feel the pressure because it's not pressure. When it's snowing, sometimes you can like feel the pressure in your head where I live, but maybe you can feel like the negative pressure. It's almost like underwater. And also in fall, there's always a point in fall over here where I live where it's just nothing. It's not hot, it's not cold. And but it's like you can't feel the wind, but the wind is definitely blowing the leaves. It's almost like you're underwater. It's a different feeling. It's relaxing. I'll say that much. It's always my favorite time of fall. I just know winter's coming right after. Man, you know I hate it when y'all say that. Link, jot the link. Man, you're also rude about how about you say, can you put the link up, please? Can you post the link, please? Drop the link. Drop this link. How about that? My foot's stuck. I dropped the link. I don't see anybody yet. The hell's all that banging? No, y'all be saying it so mean, so forceful. Drop the link. I can hear y'all's voices when you say it. Mimi, I put the link. Where you at? Just want to have me sitting here staring at the screen. I've been quiet for too long. I'm not gonna lie, I thought she went to sleep too. While we're waiting on Mimi. You jealous? You want one? Can't have one. Watch, the next comment's gonna be take that off. Oh my God. I ain't got time for you, for it, Mimi. My man doesn't want me hitting the link. Tell your man why don't he get on the link. I guess at least you can say that. What you apologizing to me for? I only got 5 more minutes. I'm trying to figure out if I need to yell for someone to stop banging around upstairs. No, I don't hear it no more. She must have heard me. Maybe you're drinking that and answer my question. How bad is it down south down there? Or how bad is the snow down south down there? More southern. I guess you're not technically south of me. But you're right off the water though. Anyways, Mimi, I finished that little nasty bottle of that stuff that y'all be drinking anyways. That's what I finished today. Mixed with some sparkling cider. What are you talking about? Oh my God. I ain't got time, Mimi. I'm asking you about the snow. I don't care about your man, whoever your man is. We'll probably that I don't like. Don't like the black ice. I've only ever no, I can't say silent. I've only ever gotten one accident. Oh my gosh. Mimi, so my question. How bad is the snow down there where you are? And I know your real answer is because I put on the hat. That's why. No, you can't hit the link. Three minutes, y'all. Whatever it does. I'm saying off of work. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Gloss. Don't like messing with the black ice. I don't think I'm gonna get my question answered about the snow. I don't see it happening. In my 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes that I got left. Okay, didn't she tell me she was going to bed, but she's up there banging around? Her and that cat, she probably terrorizing that cat. Well, I say, go ahead and lay it back down, baby. Go ahead and rest that head. We know the room's swimming. Stop banging. Don't tell me you're not. Just stop. You understand? Anyways. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. Seconds is counting down, y'all. Hey, Manifest, how you doing? Good evening. For one, Gloss out on screen. I was hollering / yelling. Manifest tonight. The topic was on the Tesla bomb or Tesla truck explosion, and I just forgot the guy's name, Matt something, and just the connection between him and that, and the drones that people have been sighting or spotting. We are all good. I'm right about to get off though, because it just hit 2 hours. How are you doing, by the way, before I go anywhere? Gloss, I don't think you have to tell Mimi lay back down. I think she gone. I think she gone on her own. I just realized y'all can see that. Well, y'all, while I have the moment, y'all have a good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'll get more hype about it when the number goes up, but don't forget, when we hit 500, we're going to do another raffle. Oops. I hope so too. I'm not gaming tonight. I'm gonna actually watch Netflix for once. Good night. Gloss, if you want, I'll wait for you before I start Netflix. I don't know what I'm gonna watch, but I for real didn't plan on gaming tonight. I plan on watching something. But ladies and gents, whoever's in here, y'all have a good evening. Appreciate y'all coming in. Catch the replay. I think it was a good one. I think there was some good knowledge, some things to think about. I feel like there's some things I'll have to point out again. Just obviously I wasn't in the Army, it was in the Marine Corps. I'm not. I would wait, Gloss. Kind of, maybe. Just I don't know, some things to think about, because like some people was like, well, why would you do this? Why would you do that? But again, think about somebody with that man's level of training and schools and stuff that he went through. He wouldn't have done some little small bomb like that. I'm not lying. I said kind of maybe. They're from China, is what Homeboy in the Tesla truck said. Manifested. He says that they're from China, and it's trying to put us in a trying to show us that they have the same anti-gravity technology that we do, and trying to put us in a checkmate. It's all in the earlier part, the first hour of the live. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna click out of here. Oh. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm gonna give myself a 5-second countdown. Oh, you're saying the anti-gravity technology? Yeah. A lot of people believe that comes from the crash UFOs and stuff. You should always keep it real with the people. Don't forget my background now, y'all. I'm counting in my head. Oh, nope, you gotta start the count over. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Some people believe that the anti-gravity technology comes from the crash UFOs, but just the good night, Gloss. The drones that we're seeing he's saying is Chinese trying to put us in a checkmate to let us know that they got the same anti-gravity technology that we have. That's what Homeboy is saying. For the most part, I say it looks credible. There was a few things I questioned, a few things I don't. Thank you. At least somebody liked it because nobody answered earlier when I asked. I definitely did ask earlier. All right, that is zero. Good night, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for joining. Oh, wait. Yes, please. Please do manifest. I definitely think it was an interesting one. Yeah, no, it would be too much to do a short go over of it. Night. Of course, I pressed the wrong button. I right clicked.